Don't send in the clowns, except for Art. Join me as we do a deep dive into the character of Art the Clown. Hey, how you doing? Is I the Terrific Lady, otherwise known as Brandy, and welcome to Retro Horror School, and happy Friday to you. Whether you've been following Art the Clown's trajectory from the beginning, or whether he's just seemed to come out of nowhere for you, there is no denying that Art the Clown is an icon that belongs on the Mount Rushmore of horror icons. But who is Art the Clown? What is his backstory? Where did he come from? And what even? Stick around for the answers for those questions. Here we go. Who is Art the Clown? How was he created? The concept of Art the Clown was born out of the head of Damien Leone, where he envisioned a scenario where a woman was getting off of work and taking a city bus home. A clown made his way onto the bus, and as people get off one by one, it is just the clown and this woman on the bus. At first, it's just some innocent bugging of the woman, but then eventually it grows more torturous and more violent. So, who was Art and where did he come from? This is never exactly made clear across any of the Terrifier films. There is a fan theory that says that Art was once a doctor, or at least had been in medical school, due to the nature of how he likes to cut and maim and torture his victims. As far as the looks go, Leone envisioned Art as somewhat of an anti-Pennywise, where Pennywise looks like a typical, how you would expect a typical clown to look, all colorful, doesn't really use weapons of any kind. Art uses weapons. He doesn't have hair like Pennywise. He doesn't talk. And he wears black and white makeup and black and white clothes. He first appeared in Leone's short film, The Ninth Circle, which came out in 2008. It saw Art as an agent of sorts working for the devil. Leone said that he threw in everything into that film: clowns, witches, demons, monsters, everything up against that wall, hoping something would stick. And that something just happened to be Art the Clown. The character next appeared in the follow-up short Terrifier, which came out in 2011, which saw Art chasing down a witness to one of his murders that he committed at a gas station. Leone submitted this short to film festivals, all of which rejected it, which is kind of surprising to me. He chose to upload the short to YouTube, which racked up over 120,000 views. And this got the attention of producer Jesse Badgett. And he approached Leone about making an anthology with The Ninth Circle and Terrifier, and then one more film. This anthology became what is known as All Hallows Eve, released in 2013. Leone wanted to do more things with Art the Clown, and he wanted to make a feature film with him. Mike Giannelli, the original portrayer of Art the Clown, had all but retired from acting at this point. Enter David Howard Thornton. So to find his Art the Clown, Leone posted auditions, and the posting for the audition was actor in a killer clown movie. And Thornton saw the posting. In an interview with the site Capes and Tights, Thornton said, "I was familiar with All Hallows Eve when I saw the audition notice and it said Killer Clown. I was like, wait a minute," and I had to double check my Google. I was like, yeah, holy shit. Art went on to be the central character in the feature-length film Terrifier, which came out in 2016, and in Terrifier 2, which came out in 2022, and in the upcoming Terrifier 3, set to release in October of this year. In fact, we're in October. Yay! Now, when you think about killers in horror films, you think about their signature weapon. Freddy has his finger gloves. Jason has his machete. Art has many signature weapons, among them being an axe, his cat o' nine tails, which I see him with a lot, a scalpel, and his hacksaw. And those are just a few of the weapons that he likes to carry around. But what is one of Art's most effective weapons? The sound of silence. He never talks, not once. Thornton talked about this in an interview with the site Alabama.com. He said that he took a lot of inspiration from actual serial killers and horror villains for art, but also took a lot of inspiration from comedy legends, especially those that were great with physical comedy and silent comedy. Even his laughs are void of any kind of sound, menacing or not. You cannot reason with him. You cannot appeal to his empathy because he has none. Lack of dialogue gives him power and gives him the upper hand. And it feels like silence is his way of playing a sick game with his victims, which, let's be real, he is. You never know what he's thinking beyond just wanting to chase you and kill you with his weapons, one of them being silence. Art could easily be dismissed as another slasher killer, another hacker, but there is more to art than that. Art is not just a hacker or a slasher. He's also a sadist, and not just a bit of a sadist. He is a big-time sadist. He takes pleasure in the pain and suffering of others, like messing with Tara in Terrifier 1, and also killing her best friend Dawn right in front of her. Also, Terrifier 2 and the bedroom scene, bleach and salt, all I'll say there. He is almost annoyed whenever he has to use a gun. He's happy when he's using his cat of nine tails, and he's happy when he's using his hacksaw, but look at him when he has to use a gun. He ain't all too happy about it. Gun's not good enough for him. He has it, but it's not good enough for him. He is also de-individuated. That is a psychological term. That means your identity is unknown or obscured. Because of this, you are more apt to commit abhorrent behaviors, such as leaving hateful comments on someone's picture on Instagram, trolling someone online, scamming others, cheating others, or even going to the extremes of Art the Clown. Also, when you're de-individuated, you don't really have any other motive beyond hurting others. For instance, Freddy Krueger is not de-individuated. His motives are very clear. Art just really has no motives. He has no backstory. There's no big long explanation as to why he does what he does. He just does it. He kills because he enjoys it. And that is terrifying. It makes him scary because there's really nothing to understand. You're not going to get Art into a psychologist's office and get him to lie on the couch and talk about his issues. He's just like Michael Myers, purely and simply evil. And that's all you need to know. Art the Clown is quickly becoming a modern horror icon. Damien Leone felt that the 2010s were missing a definitive horror icon, and in creating Art, I am guessing that he hoped to fill that space, and he succeeded. What sets Art apart are his mannerisms, his almost mime-like, comedic, over-the-top mannerisms. Also, in how brutal and graphic Art is. Art the Clown and Terrifier has brought horror and swung it around back to the raw, visceral, over-the-top slashers of the 80s. The gore and the violence is unapologetically over the top. And that's a good thing. Leone's use of practical effects in Terrifier adds another step to that brutality. The special effects are nasty, they're bloody, they're gory, they're in your face. And Art enjoys it just a little bit too much, so that makes us go like, oh. And it makes it feel just maybe a tad bit personal. None of these movies like you definitely are watching something that you shouldn't. Art is a character, but also a vessel for some of the most practical and shocking effects that we have seen in years. As an aside, Thornton in Terrifier 3 said there's one scene that he had to do with Art that was so over the top that I think he threw up. If I remember the correct words, he either felt queasy or he threw up. But either way, whoo boy, you have to wonder how over the top that goes. One of the biggest questions about Art the Clown is this clown human? Or is he supernatural? The case for him being supernatural is he is hard to kill. He seems to have superhuman strength in that he can rip limbs off of people and heads and carry around that big bag of probably heavy tools with relative ease. And he came back to life. Leone said that Art didn't know that he was going to be resurrected after he shot himself in the head at the end of Terrifier. Yeah, he could be somewhat demonic or supernatural. It's been hinted at in movies like The Ninth Circle that, yeah, he possibly could be. But in Terrifier, there's a sense that he also seems human. You see him in the mirror putting on his white makeup. Even though he's hard to put down, he does get hurt. Things do hurt him. So I'm not sure. Perhaps in the third one, we will learn whether he is full out supernatural superhuman or what the deal with him is. So even I can't answer the question whether he is just human or if he's a superhuman supernatural. What do you think about that? Put your thoughts down in the comments whether you think Art is a mere human clown or supernatural. Art's not just an average horror villain. He's a cultural phenomenon, a cultural icon. There's merch, people have drawn fan art, they've gotten tattoos, people dress up as him at horror conventions, and they even go to horror conventions to get their picture taken with Art the Clown. To get a small sampling of what is out there in terms of art. There's an Art the Clown Christmas sweater. Ghost in Maine cited Art the Clown as an influence for his 2020 album Anti-Icon. And Ice Nine Kills also released a song called A Work of Art based on the character that will be featured in Terrifier 3. Another common thing with 80s films, 80s horror films were paired with awesome ass rock songs. And so we're heading back to that era as well, which has me stoked. Art has even made his way into video games, both inspirational wise and in reality. In Fear and Hunger 2, Termina, an enemy named Needles resembles Art the Clown and stalks and murders players. He also is a character in Call of Duty Warzone and Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. And Art has even been on TV. Thornton reprised his role as Art the Clown in the 2023 comedy series Bupkis with Pete Davidson. So Art the Clown will be here for years to come, like a Jason, like a Michael, like a Freddy. And I think that's a good thing. So what is it about Art the Clown that makes him one of the most terrifying horror villains and horror killers? There could be a myriad of reasons, but the tops for me is that Art the Clown is a reminder to me that sometimes a horror killer doesn't need a convoluted backstory or reason. Sometimes he can just be and just is. And I think that's what I like the most about Art. Thank you so much for watching Retro Horror School. I really do appreciate it. Share your thoughts about Art the Clown in the comments below, whether you love him, whether you hate him, whether you're indifferent. I want to know it all. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and share it with fellow horror fans and fellow Art the Clown fans because it really does help. And if you're not subscribed yet, consider subscribing so that way you never miss an episode of Retro Horror School. And hit the bell to make sure that you doubly don't miss an episode of Retro Horror School. I'm going to toss up a few more videos here that I think you might like. And sadly, class is dismissed, everybody, for now. But I will see you next time. Bye!